on, guys? Long time no see. Not really. It was just last week I made a video. But I'm back again in the garage today, and we're going to do a little coolant flush on the Subaru. Got all the necessary supplies here that you're going to need. Got some gloves, a couple of drain pans. Picked these up cheap from Walmart. Probably make a mean turkey in that thing or something like that. I don't know, some smashed potatoes. I mean, it's up to you what you want to make in these, but I'm going to actually put some old radiator coolant in it. So, I mean, whatever floats your boat, that's how I'm going to be using these today, so you figure it out for yourself. I'm planning on flushing the system about 2 times. It's going to be about 2 gallons each flush, so that's why I grabbed 4 distilled gallons of water. And I picked up some super coolant, super awesome Subaru super coolant. But yeah, we're going to attempt to do this, so let's go on ahead and get started. The car has not been ran this morning. Everything is cool. Everything is cool to the touch. No radiator caps are going to blow off when I go to, loosen it up, so that's a good thing. I won't burn my skull off. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention I'm gonna change out my thermostat as well. I have a Mishimoto. Where did it go? There we go. Here's the Mishimoto thermostat here. Racing thermostat, might I add. Yeah, I don't really know how to install this. I'm just gonna wing it. This radiator was actually replaced probably like 3 years ago. I busted a hole in it at the top. It started spewing out around this area somewhere. So this is just an AutoZone radiator, nothing special about it. And I don't even think I used any Subaru spec coolant either. I just bought some regular antifreeze, so I'm not running the best stuff in this car right now. But I want to get it back to Subaru spec and use some super coolant in here. And just get the whole system fleshed out. I mean, this car has a lot of miles. 150 plus thousand miles. Yeah, it's getting up there. It's got a lot of miles on the odometer, so we're going to try to get her in tip-top shape today and just get the whole cooling system flushed out and making it run a little bit cooler. Okay, so we got everything out of the way. Now we're ready to drain the petcock, or petcock, or petcock, or whatever you want to call it, but I call it the petcock. So that's going to drain all the old fluid out of the radiator, and that's where the mess is going to start. Alright, let there be light. Let there be light. So I'm going to attempt to do this whole radiator drain, flush, whatever, without jacking up the car. I think my car is lifted enough where I can get under there and actually get to the petcock, or petcock. I'm just going to say that many times this video. Petcock, whatever. It's kind of a fun word to say. Anyways, let's get up under the car here and see if we can locate the drain plug. Oh, it's going to be way up here. Oh, damn you. It ain't going to be easy getting to the petcock. No idea why I'm wearing white everything for this job, but hey, that's what I had. That's what I'm going to do. Aha! I have located the petcock right there. A little white wing nut looking thing. Probably can't see it because the GoPro doesn't zoom in, bro. Okay, so when in doubt, just use your iPhone. So I'm going to show you the petcock right here. It's a little drain wing nut looking thing. Right about there. Focus, focus, focus. But yeah, that's the petcock down there. And it looks like it's right under part of the frame. So when I drain this out, it's just going to go all up on the frame. And I think it's just going to make the coolant go everywhere. Everywhere. Hopefully my trusty drain pans will work out for me. If not, I'm going to be making a mean turkey on that thing. Maybe a turducken. I haven't figured it out yet, but definitely going to be do some bacon if this drain thing doesn't work out. Alright, here goes nothing. Oh. It's going to drain really slow, and I'm going to go release the radiator cap now, and it should flow a lot more smoother. We got a little bit of spillage going on, but it's only a little bit toxic. Just a slight little mishap there. Just missed the bowl, Hate when that happens. This coolant is freaking disgusting. I haven't put my gloves on yet, which is dumb. Got a little bit of radiator fluid on the freaking camera light here. Whew. Alright, so first step is complete. Okay, so quick update. The radiator is still draining. It appears all the coolant has pretty much stopped draining out of the system now. I'm gonna go on ahead and start the car up and let the water pump push out any extra fluid that's in the system. Okay, I lied. I guess the water pump won't push out any other excess fluid unless the actual thermostat opens up, and it has to get to operating temperature before it'll do that. I'm just gonna go on ahead and replace the drain plug, fill it up with distilled water, run that for a little while, let the thermostat open and close, and run the distilled water through the system, and then I'm going to drain it one more time and repeat the process I think one more time after that. So that'll be the radiator flush. So let's go on ahead and continue this process. Alrighty then, we just got our petcock Why don't I just say drain plug? I'm just gonna start saying drain plug. So we got a drain plug back on the radiator now. Now we're ready to add the distilled water into the system. Maybe even go drive it around for a little while and just get a good flush in there. Just give it a good flush. Got myself a funnel right here. Make sure that the cap is cool to the touch before undoing. Hopefully our funnel is not too good, but hey, it fits in the neck. It'll work. Just a little bit of drippage going on, but that's all good. It's just water. So you really want to get yourself a nice spillless drain. It'll just overflow on the sides. You really don't want that with the coolant. See that? So this isn't actually the ideal funnel to use, but it's what I got. It's what I got. I might be able to just a little risky move here. Should take about 2 of these gallons. Oop. All right, first gallon is done. Woo. We are at the top actually. Whoops. So I just added about 1.5 gallons of water, and now the radiator is actually overflowing at this point. So I'm gonna go on ahead and start the car up and let the water pump do its thing and suck the rest of the water down, and we'll be able to feed a little bit more water in the system. See the air bubbles coming up? That's what you want to see right there. Slowly burping the system. See, it sucked it all down. We're gonna add some more now. Just kind of pinching this hose over here, trying to get some burping going on, get the air bubbles out. See, a little bit more we can add now. Just want to keep double checking, make sure you're not overheating. Coolant levels are at 189. Still burping right now. Still getting everything out of the system. So I'm gonna shut her off. I also had the heater blasting at the time, just to get everything circulating. So I'll fill it up right to the rim here. There we go. Getting the air bubbles out now. So I pretty much was over here, just kind of squeezing these coolant hoses, just to release any little air pockets that are still in there. And I just heard like a huge burp and a lot of fluid just getting sucked into the system. It wants to burp. It wants to burp. I see the suction coming up. I'll wait. I got all day. I'll wait. That's me just pumping the hose right here. Slowly drinking it down. So we'll give it a couple more minutes, see if it sucks down anymore. And if not, we're going to go ahead and go for a test drive. I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea to actually clean out your overflow reservoir tank. And I might just do that real quick while I'm waiting. Definitely don't want to bust this off. I know the plastic is probably pretty brittle at this point in its life. It's a pretty old car, you know. You just gotta be careful. You don't want to pop any tabs off. Removing the little coolant reservoir is pretty easy. You just gotta locate a little tab on the inside here. I just took a flathead screwdriver. There's a little black tab. You're gonna pry it to the left, and then once that's pried to the left, you're gonna wanna give it a little dig and a pop off. And then it'll just wiggle its way out. And here you go. I'm gonna give this a good cleaning. It looks like there's some gunk buildup in there. And you know, try to get this baby running at optimum performance. This coolant stuff is nasty, so you don't really want to pour it into the environment. Find a nice empty spot and dispose of it properly. That was just distilled water, so don't get your panties in a bunch. Just want to line up this little end piece here with the hole down there. Make sure it seats in there properly. Everything is all sealed up, all the caps are back on, everything's filled up. We're going to go ahead and start the car. We're going to run the heater at full blast and make sure everything's running through the system as it should. We're going to keep a close eye on those temperatures and hopefully nothing overheats. Just letting the car idle right now. Everything seems to be under control. We'll see if anything opens up. Thermostat should click on and the fans should turn on as well. Here's a quick look at the first coolant drain here. A couple little black particles floating at the bottom there. But for the most part, it still has that green tint to it, so it wasn't horrible. But definitely probably could use a change. There's some browning going on. All right, I'm just still here letting the car idle, and the fans just kicked on at around 205 degrees. So looks like they just kicked back off. Yeah, they both kicked back off just now. Let's see what it's at. 189 just with those fans that kicked on. And I was kind of getting concerned that they weren't working. That's good to know. I thought they were broken and I would have to do a little bit more diagnosis and make another video out of it, but it looks like they are functioning. I'm also gonna just click my heater on just before I get started here. Click it on full blast. Let everything circulate. Let all the water go through the heater core, and yeah, we should be on our way to a nice clean radiator system. At 198, 196. Just doing a quick little spin down the block, and then I'm gonna go home and drain the fluid, do another flush. Woohoo! Now the bad news is I gotta wait for my car to cool back down before I can drain the old distilled water. So that'll take probably a freaking good hour or so. This would be a good time to drain your old fluid into one of these empty gallons just to get it disposed of properly. All right, now we're ready to do it all over again. Car's still at 145 degrees. I'm attempting to drain it now. Probably a bad idea, but that's what I do. I do a lot of bad ideas. Usually it doesn't end well. I'm losing my patience. I can't wait any longer for this to cool down, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's cool enough for me. Here we go. Oh, this is dumb. This might be dumb. It's actually cool to the touch. All right, all right, all right, all right. Here we go. Oh, there she blows. There she blows, ladies and gentlemen. The water is definitely a bit dirty. Subaru definitely didn't have us mechanics in mind when they designed this little peacock drain. This little peacock drain, you know what I'm saying? Definitely some dirty stuff coming out of here. Dirty, dirty, dirty. And you can see it looks like dungone swamp water here. Try for them gators. We're gonna put the petcock back on now, or the radiator drain plug. And I think we're gonna flush the system one more time. See all that gunk in there? Bunch of floaters. Well, well, well. Since I'm already doing this coolant baloney, I thought I might as well just check out the thermostat while I'm already doing coolant stuff. And I've had this Mishimoto thermostat for quite some time now, and I never got around to actually installing it. I think I'm gonna go on ahead and install this as well. So I'll show you guys how to do that, if I even know how to do it myself. See that hose right there, and then you guys are upside down. Right where that hose connects to, that's the thermostat housing. And right under that cover is going to be the, what do you know, a thermostat. So hopefully these 10mm bolts come off without an issue. You can see there's some corrosion going on right there. Looks like some dried, crusty coolant. Not sure what that's about, but I think it's just lack of maintenance. We're gonna check it out right now, pull it off, and do some inspecting. Right up here, gotta get that hose off. I'm gonna have a feeling this is gonna get messy. Trying to get this dirty hose clamp off. My little cockeyed needle nose pliers here. It's a little bit corroded, eh? Okay, would you look at that? Would you look at that? That just snapped right off. Please don't pierce the hose, please. Ta-da! Busted hose clamp. Are we recording? Yeah. Oh, GoPro's about to die. Oh, crap. A little bit of drainage coming out. You can Just got to get this off. The thermostat housing is holding in the, what do you know, a thermostat? Bunch of corrosion going on. It's an old girl, man. She's got a lot of miles on her. So we're going to get these two 10mm bolts off that are holding on the thermostat housing, and we're going to check out our thermostat, see what's going on. So this angle is a little difficult to see, but there's a 10mm bolt right up in here. One on each side of the thermostat housing. Unbolt the good old housing here, and of course it's not easy to get to because Subaru. Probably wouldn't hurt to get a little bit of that good old, what is it called? Well, I managed to get one of the bolts free. I didn't end up using any of the PB blaster just because I couldn't really get it onto the bolt without spraying it everywhere. So I was able to get the first bolt broken free. So let's go on ahead and work on the top bolt now. It's right up here. It is hidden, hard to get to, but we should be able to get it out here. Trying to show you guys what I'm doing here. Hopefully you guys can see this. This is gonna be the top bolt on the thermostat. It's gonna be right up here. So get it on there nice and square and give it a nice firm push, push, push. Get it on there square. Don't be stripping this. Boy. You just tuck the coolant hose up in this little area here just to get it out of the way. It makes it a little easier to get to this top bolts. Almost stripped it, guys. Almost stripped it, boys. Okay, I was able to get a little bit of blast on there. A little bit of PB blaster. Let that bolt soak a little bit. Man, that was a close call. Almost stripped it. Almost stripped it, boys. Almost stripped it, boys. Alright, let it sit for about 5 minutes. We are on there pretty good, boys. Oh yeah. Close call, but yeah, I got it loose, baby. Thanks to the PB blaster, or thanks to my awesome mechanicism. My mechanically inclined brain here. A little bit of loosey-goosey action going on here. Gonna get a little bit of leakage. Woo! Woo! Oh, almost landed in the coolant pool. Put the coolant housing off. Pretty clean on the inside, not too bad, not too shabby. All right, so here's your thermostat right about here. And you want to just take note. Just want to make sure this little floaty thing at the top is pointed up. Yeah, so your thermostat will work properly when you put it back in. It's gonna stand back. I don't know if it's gonna shoot out any more coolant at me. Ow, keep getting jacked up. Just a little gentle persuasion. This has got to be the OEM thermostat. It's got to be. This thing is so freaking caked on right now. There it goes. There she blows. There she blows, ladies and gentlemen. Still not 100% free, but she definitely blew a gasket. Let's get. There it is, the old thermostat is off. You also want to be sure to clean this up here. See this old corrosion from the old gasket. You want to kind of pry that off and clean it up the best you can. That way the new gasket, when you put it on, it'll be in tip-top shape and you won't have any leaks. It's got a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a rag, and I'm just gonna go around the edges here. It's not ideal, but it'll do the job. Let's clean it off the best you can. All right, pretty clean to me. Just gonna give the thermostat housing a little cleaning. I don't have gloves on. Why don't I have gloves on? I'm a real one, that's why. I'm a real one. I get down deep down and dirty. We want this housing to be seated very well, and we don't want any leaks. So getting this cleaned off will prevent that from happening to you. Getting there. So this is the old, this is the new. We're gonna swap it right now. Make sure the little floaty dipty doo-doo is towards the sky. It's gonna go in just like this, bam. Little floater thing at the top. It's gonna go, boom, bolt onto the car just like that. All right, here we go. We're putting the thermostat in now. Little floaty thing is pretty straight up and down. Push your little grommet, your little gasket in there. It'll stay in place long enough for you to get the housing on there, hopefully. Let's see. Place the housing on there very carefully. We are golden, people. Maybe not so golden. I can't get the nut in from this angle, bro. So I'm attempting to use the long socket with a little bit of tape on the bolt to hold it in place. That way it'll allow me to at least get it started, hopefully. We'll see how this goes. Sorry if you guys can't see this, but bear with me. I had to crawl under a little bit more, but I'm just trying to feed the bolts in now. Once I get one started, tape comes off. Just gonna grab a little bit more tape here, help me get the other bolt in. Kind of hold it in place. It'll hold it in the socket, allow me to do what I need to do. There we go. Now the bolt won't go anywhere. Woo! All right, let's get it. This has to go up on top of the housing. Feel around for the hole. Feels like I got it. Just getting it started with my fingers. Snug down this top one a little bit. Work over to the other one. Just kind of tighten them up evenly. And I'm pretty confident we did this correctly. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gents, he/she. One more quick little torquey torque. Not too tight. You don't want to go crazy. All right. Thumbs up. A dirty thumbs up. Alright, so we just got the thermostat housing all bolted back in place. Everything is good to go now. The only issue I have now is one broken hose clamp. I think we might have to make a trip to the hardware store. Alrighty then, we are back from AutoZone. We got some good stuff. We got some good shop towels, you know, always can use those at any point. And I picked up some of these clamps. They're not the best clamps, they're not the worst clamps. They didn't have the clamps that I wanted, but they're clamps that'll work, and that's what I'm gonna use. So we're gonna get this job done. Alrighty then, let's get this coolant hose back where it belongs. Done under the car. Time to get this bad girl back on the ground and start filling her with some water. Hopefully the new thermostat is going to be operating as it should. Should take another half gallon in there. Top off the coolant with water. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, let's start the car again. Let's make sure we're actually gonna circulate the heater, so we're gonna switch that on. We gotta make sure that we feel hot air coming through. And if we don't feel hot air, that means there's an air bubble somewhere in the heater core. Double check our temperatures. All right, I feel heat in here. It's getting pretty toasty. We're at 138, 140. Temperatures are looking good. So far so good. I think we're on track for a normal operating temperature. I'll go ahead and shut her off. We don't want her to get too hot or else it'll start spewing out hot coolant all over the fans down there. I kind of learned that on my first flush. So turned it off just before it warmed up all the way. Just repeat the process. You know the drill by now. I mean, just keep burping it, keep add water, burp it, add water, burp it, add water, and then when it stops sucking in water, you pretty much are full and you're ready to start it up, put the caps on, start it up, and start cycling the thermostat on and off, and blast the heater, go for a test drive, flush, repeat. You know how to do it. So that's what I'm at now. I'm on the last flushing process, and the next thing I'm going to fill up is going to be the coolant. So can't wait for that, because that means we're going to be done with this job. Burping looks like it is done. Doesn't seem like there's any more air in the system. It's pretty much staying at this top level here. So let's go on ahead and replace the cap and get ready to start her up and circulate the heater, and just keep an eye on those temps. Make sure all your caps are on, nice and tight, ready to go. I'll keep an eye on that coolant hose as well, that new hose clamp that we added. No leaks. I think we're good. Alright, geez, let's finish this freaking job up already. So yeah, we're ready to do the last coolant drain on this thing. We have the distilled water still in the system. I drove the car around a little bit today to circulate more of the coolant or distilled water in there. Oh yeah, and a little update, the new thermostat that I installed is working and functioning properly. So I think I did everything correctly. That's right. Alright, you know what to do. Time to drain that peacock. Here's the 3 stages here. This is the first flush, that's the second flush. You can see the difference here. Still a little bit more dirty than this one, but there is improvements, so that's awesome. So we're good. We're ready to fill up the car with the coolant now. Let's do it. But we're just gonna fill it until it stops taking it in, and then that's at that point I'm gonna start the car, and then blah, 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 blah. You know how to do it. Just keep that in mind when you're going to add your new coolant. Be sure to just add the coolant conditioner just before you add your gallon plus of coolant. So keep that in mind, or else you'll be out of room and you'll be sucking it out just like this. Don't end up like me. All right, carry on. She's so thirsty. Gallon number 2. About 1/4 of the second gallon went in there, and it's starting to back up now. So you know the drill. We got to start the car and get that coolant circulating in there. Time to burp the system. Give it a little squeeze, a little release, a little squeeze, a little release. Burp to come out. Let it all out. Let the burps come out. Got my heater blasting on the inside. Just gonna take a look at the temperatures and make sure nothing overheats, and double check our coolant levels as well. We don't want your ice cream. Yeah, bubbles, baby. We like the bubbles. We like the bubbles, baby. We gotta be getting close because I've used about 3/4 of that second gallon already. See if we can work out any last minute air bubbles here. Happened again. Squirt it out. Just a little bit of spillage. One thing I did notice when I had the car on, I had the heater blasting and it actually wasn't getting hot. So that tells me that there's an air bubble in the heater core somewhere. So hopefully these air bubbles coming up had something to do with that. So while I'm burping the system, I find this hose very helpful. Just give it a couple pinches and you'll start to see more air bubbles coming out. Along with this hose as well, just give it a good pinch. But this one I've noticed a lot of air bubbles coming out of this hole here just with a couple pinches. And that's all the helpful tips I have for you. I'm gonna go ahead and replace the cap real quick. We have good news, the heater is producing hot heat now. Hot air is coming out, so that tells me that the heater core is circulating and doing its thing. Nice and toasty in here. Heater's blasting. We're at 189. Thermostat should open up at about 205 from what I've noticed. No overheating, no overheating, no overheating. Overflow tank is bubbling nicely. We're at 205 degrees. We should hear the click on the fans. There they go. They are on. Garage temperature is 86 degrees. So we're at 207, fans are on. Let's see what it cools down to once the fans turn off. Uh-oh. I don't think the thermostat opened up yet. It's just 214 just idling, so I think there's definitely some more air in the system we gotta get out. I can tell right here too, this should be very pressurized and it's still pretty squishy. Alright, so I just let the car cool down a little bit. I actually backed it down the driveway, so it's on just a slight slant. So I'm hoping just a little bit of an angle might help the air escape the lines a little easier. I have no idea, I'm just trying it out. So we're gonna give the car a start up and see what kind of air bubbles come out. Still don't see anything circulating in there like I did with the distilled water. So something's still backing it up. Okay, look at this guys. Holding at 176. Temperatures are normal here, 176. It is holding steady, and that's where it was holding steady yesterday when I had the distilled water in the system. So I think we are on the home stretch. All right, let's shut her off. Let's return the cap. Proceed with caution. Coolant overflow tank is low again. I'm gonna go ahead and top this off one more time, and then I think we're ready for a little test drive. Feeling pretty confident. I'm feeling pretty confident that we did this correctly. I mean, it is my 3rd time filling it up. For some reason, the coolant is a little bit more trickier to get all the air bubbles out. I don't know why. I don't know for what reason. Maybe it's slightly thicker. I'm not quite too sure, but I have noticed it is a little bit more difficult, a little bit more of a challenge to get the air bubbles out when you're actually refilling the system with coolant. But I mean, you live and learn, and here I am, just trying it my way and learning from my mistakes, figuring out how it goes, you know? Here we are on the open road. So far temps are at 198, just cruising around. Let's go one signal up and give her some juice. forever, baby. Well, I can't be happier doing this coolant flush finally. I mean, it makes me feel a lot better knowing that my car is running at the optimum coolness, the optimum temperature, you know, for performing. Definitely was long overdue for a coolant flush on this thing. Hoping this video can help you guys out if you're not sure on how to do a little coolant flush or a thermostat change on, you know, the 06, 07 WRX. Not sure what other models it applies to, but hey, like, comment, share, whatever you want to do. Hope to see you guys on the next video. Take it easy, and we will see you then. Peace out.